Hello, welcome once again to Dr. Ambedkar's Tear channel. I am Dr. Anjali Gokand, a pediatrician from Mumbai. Today I will talk about interpreting respiratory findings. We begin the respiratory examination by noting the respiratory rate, rhythm, signs of distress if any. Then we note any bony abnormalities of the chest or spine, as these may have a bearing on interpretation of our findings. Look for flattening or bulging of the chest wall and note movements of all lung fields. Collapse or fibrosis of the lung can cause flattening of the overlying chest wall. Bulging of the chest wall due to respiratory lesions are not very obvious, unlike precordial bulge, which is seen in children with congenital cardiac disease. All respiratory conditions cause decreased movement of the chest, but consolidation causes decreased movement over a particular lung field, whereas a pleural effusion may cause decreased movement over the anterior and the posterior chest wall all along the pleural surface. Noting tracheal and cardiac apical position will help us collaborate with other findings to determine if the underlying lesion is pushing or pulling the mediastinum. On palpation, we confirm the tracheal and apical positions. We also confirm chest wall movements and conduct the tactile vocal fremetus. This is equivalent to the vocal resonance done during auscultation. A consolidated lung with an open bronchus acts as an excellent medium to transmit sound and gives an increased tactile vocal fremetus. All other conditions give decreased fremetus. On percussion, an impaired note is heard in all pulmonary diseases, an exception being the pneumothorax, where a hyperresonant note is heard. Vesicular breath sounds are normal sounds heard over healthy lungs. Bronchial breathing is normally heard anteriorly over the manubrium, in the right infraclavicular region, and posteriorly between the interscapular area. If heard at other places, bronchial breath sounds indicate consolidation within the lung parenchyma with a patent airway. Findings of consolidation are seen with bacterial or viral pneumonia, a neoplastic growth in the lung, and even with an abscess or cavity. Absent or attenuated sounds occur when there is no airflow to the region being auscultated. This can occur in a pleural effusion, empyema, pneumothorax, or even a consolidation when the airway is obstructed. An ominous situation with absent breath sounds occur with severe bronchospasm in a patient with asthma. This is an emergency. Adventitious sounds heard during auscultation are crepitations, wheeze, stridor, or a pleural rub. Crepitations can be classified as fine or coarse depending on their sound quality. Fine crepitations are produced by the forced reopening of collapsed alveoli. They are seen in pneumonia, interstitial lung disease, asthma, and congestive heart failure. In early consolidation, there may be just tachypnea and fine crepitations. Later, crepitations will be present along with bronchial breathing. Lung fibrosis and interstitial disease cause dry crepitations heard all over the chest. Cardiac failure causes pulmonary venous congestion and crepitations heard particularly at the bases of the lung. Coarse crepitations are a combination of alveolar reopening and bubbling of air through retained secretions in smaller airways. Coarse crepitations are heard in COPD in adults, and bronchiectasis. Wheeze is produced during expiration by air flowing through a narrow bronchus, as is seen in asthma, bronchitis, or COPD. Wheeze is associated with most viral infections. When it occurs episodically and often without fever, probe for a family history. This could be asthma. Bronchitis has a similar presentation with tachypnea, wheeze, and crepitations. Bronchiolitis, however, in infants, it causes fever, breathlessness with very little cough. The child is tachypnic and irritable. This is an airway disease where the bronchioles, the terminal bronchioles, are affected. It causes air trapping but no wheeze. COPD in adults causes tachypnea and expiratory wheeze and crepitations. Stridor is a characteristic rough sound produced during inspiration. It is created by narrow edematous larynx or trachea. Stridor usually occurs with epiglottitis, vocal cord dysfunction, croup, or laryngeal edema in anaphylaxis. Stridor usually commands urgent attention. Pleural rub is a non-pulmonary adventitious sound which has a sandpaper-like quality and is present during both inspiration and expiration. Inflammation of the pleural surfaces creates this sound. It is seen in early stages of pleural fluid collection, like in a pneumonic effusion, a tuberculous pleural effusion, or even neoplastic effusion. In all these situations, the rub is present only in the early stages of the infection, and once there is fluid built up in the pleural space, the rub disappears. To put it all together, the signs of consolidation would be no shift of the mediastinum, decreased movement over the particular lung field, increased vocal fremitus, an impaired note, bronchial breathing, fine crepitations, and at times a pleural rub. Signs of pleural fluid collection would be shift of the mediastinum to the other side, decreased movement of the chest over a larger area, decreased fremitus, impaired note over the pleural distribution, decreased to absent breath sounds, early in the course of a disease a pleural rub which disappears later. Interpreting respiratory findings after a careful examination can help us to diagnose a condition fairly easily. Finally, something about tuberculosis in our country. We know tuberculosis can present in the lung in a myriad ways. It can present as a pneumonia with consolidation anywhere in the lung, but especially in the apical regions. The consolidation can cavitate and present with similar findings as the consolidation. The lesion can heal with fibrosis and cause a pull on the mediastinum. Tuberculous pleural effusion is an immune response and presents with a relatively short history. Endobronchial tuberculosis can cause a localized segmental collapse which presents with localized wheeze and other signs. Mediastinal lymph nodes can similarly cause compression over the bronchi, and we can have miliary TB with dissemination to the whole body and yet no particular signs in the chest. So the diagnosis of tuberculosis will depend on details in history and a high index of suspicion. That's all for today. Keep watching the STEER channel for more such educational videos.